What's up, everybody? Man, I am I'm still trying to wake up from this morning. Boy, oh boy, it's been a long day. Yeah, how's everyone doing? So we got some folks in the chat already. Took a nap. Fuck, I wish. I so wish. What is up, Ryan? How you doing, man? Stacy and Hannah in here as well. Cleaning up. I had to make a copy of my old character. It's been a while. I never even titled this. I gotta title this. Me and Dolly hanging out. Nice. I too am hanging out with my Dolly. You can't see it, as you know. Obviously, if to those of you that that either partook in or witnessed the events of my D&D game last night, Phandalin 5, you can't see what I have here, as this dragon too is invisible, and is reversible depending on the mood at the moment, which I gotta say, I get it. I totally get it. This isn't made for me. This isn't made for, you know, D&D nerds. Thought it was a pizza box. I threw that away. I know this isn't made for like D&D nerds. What kills me though is that it's a fire-breathing green dragon, which, you know, there's that part of me that goes, oh man, it should have been poison. You know, this should be like a green and black cloud, not flames. But much like Runara, may Bahamut bless her soul, likewise turns invisible when we move her off screen. So I do want it to be known, though. I'll just my camera here. Yeah, Dragon is 100% there this whole time. Oh, you know what I could do? Hold on. Actually, a really funny idea. I have this idea. Okay, hold on. I'm just curious. I kind of want to try this out. Let me do something here. We'll play with this a little bit. Close up my audio group. We have not that one. Where is it? Tavern Cam group. There we go. Okay, so I need to duplicate my main camera. That needs to come down into here. All right, so I now have a main camera over my camera, as under my main camera. We're gonna put it all in the same. There we go. So actually, you know what? No, we'll put it right above. There we go. So yeah, we got main camera. I got two cameras now. So what I'm gonna do is move that one out of my way. I'm gonna go into this one. I'm gonna set a filter in here for that. Because I like behind the scenes thing, you know, OBS, if you have NVIDIA Broadcast, or if you have an NVIDIA GPU, you can actually download a thing that gives you what NVIDIA Broadcast gives you when you're streaming, so that you have like the invisible background and stuff, because like you can't see the dragon right now. But what I can do is I can have two instances. So this one that, oh, you know what? Hold on. I realized what I need to do here. I need to instead, oh, I can't. Oh, I realize why I can't. I can't have a duplicate of my main camera, I guess. Or can I? You know, let's do, what is that? That's rice. No, it's a fuzz. Main cam 2, that's right. Oh shoot, I can't do what I was thinking of doing. Oh wait, yes I can. Oh, yes I can. Okay, yes I can. So if I put that there, is my arm about the same size? Sure, it's about the right size. Okay, so now I can just alt-click. I can alt-click and I can turn that to just like that and put him right there. Oh my god, the arm's all screwed up. Hold on. Oh, actually, that's not... there's a little bit of an edge there, but that's not terrible. Wait, is this... It just needs to be like a hair smaller. That's not the worst. I've seen worse. He's just floating there. Yeah. Oh, that's really funny. Oh man, I was so curious. I was curious to see if I could make that work, and it's not perfect, but I'll tell you what, that's one thing I wish OBS would let you do, is to have to allow you to like crop circles or different shapes around feeds. It's actually one thing that I really wish they would do. You can only square cut stuff. There's ways to do it. I actually have experimented with it. It's just very, very obnoxious to try and work with. All right, let's get rid of that. Goodbye, little dragon. You are here still in spirit. Okay, so let me change this. Take the pressure off of OBS and put it back on my computer. There we go. Nice. Now we're back to normal. Okay, so we've had our little fun time here. I'm gonna move these move these down a bit, and then gonna jump into things. So if you by chance did not see the post over in Kel's Corner Discord, links above me there, you can go to the about button below to go to that as well, or much appreciated the link that was shared over on Ryan's Discord, the Verdigris table. I am going to be doing another kind of, you know, experiment, just you know, happy choice, fun time, playing with his upcoming Kickstarter. This is still the early edition of this book, which is known as the Game Master's Compendium of Explosive Creation. This is something that he has been talking about for a little while. He is currently on track with a Kickstarter coming very soon. I'm going to post the link here in un momento. There we go. And so if you find what we do here fun today, or if you want to support a local to me content creator, another D&D content creator local to the Pittsburgh area, definitely head over there, check out the Kickstarter. Make sure you click that save button so that you are notified when it goes live, because that's the main thing right now. We're still waiting with bated breath. It's gonna be any day now, I know it. But he is getting prepped and ready to have this thing go live. Now, I've done this before. We did this on a previous episode of D&D&Chill, Thursday. Oh, Thursday! There we go. Perfect. Right from, you know, right from the man himself. So Thursday, check that out. We will be talking about that. I'll be mentioning it then on Thursday night's first 15 stream. So we'll be talking a little bit about it again when we're playing some video games. That's right. Time for the first 15. That'll also be the night I actually recently submitted something for Cinderblock Sally. So it's been a little while since I submitted something to Sally, but I wanted to submit to him my School of the Spellweaver. So that one I posted for his look at. So Thursday night, I hope mine comes up after his stream. If you're curious, the School of the Spellweaver, or the Living Spellweaver, will be on his stream, so you can go and see that for all the fun that it is. Which, before I jump into everything, I do want to say, if you haven't seen the new Unearthed Arcana, you can actually check out my VODs, because I talked about it with that. But they, in the most recent UA, they changed how the wizard works to something that I really like. Right here, the Savant ability. If you're familiar with wizards in D&D from the past, the Savant ability let you copy spells in half the time and half the cost of the school you specialized in. Now, whenever you gain access to a new spell of spell slot level, or whenever you gain access to a new level of spell slots in this class, you can add one spell of your school specialization to your list for free. So in addition to the 2 you get from leveling up, you get a third one when you get a new spell level. So it's every other level, but I'm never gonna, turn down some free spells. So I actually changed my School of the Living Spellweaver to reflect that. So whenever you gain access to a new level of spell slot in this class, you can add one evocation or conjuration spell from the wizard spell list to your spellbook for free. Because I loved that update, and I want to get that one in there. So really enjoy that. All right, so off of that though, on to what we were talking about today, the Game Master's Compendium to Explosive Creation. So what is this? Now, this is the updated version of it. This is the most recent update that he has put out. If you want to get access to these, check out Ryan's Patreon. I will put a link to that. Now, I did notice today that he has currently paused his membership fees to the Patreon during the time of the Kickstarter. So, but over on his Patreon, that is where you can give him a follow and keep an update on it. So what is the Game Master's Compendium to Explosive Creation? Well, very simply, it is a supplement designed to help players and DMs create evocative, thoughtful, and fleshed out characters with a few simple dice rolls. This supplement was something so incredible whenever I first saw it, because it gives access to a lot of the ideas that various people could have when trying to come up with similar characters, and gives you a fresh take at it, because you can just roll some dice, or you can pick and choose what you want from it. So I'm not gonna read through all of this word for word. I'm gonna touch on the main things, and then we're gonna jump into a character I actually already started thinking on today while I was at work, with this idea of what I wanted to do. So the way the book works is you take your character's archetype. Now that could be something like an acolyte, which is obviously a 5e background, but it could also be an acrobat, which is not a 5e background, but a very cool concept for a style of character. You could be a rogue who grew up in some kind of circus, like you can see down here at the bottom where it says, if that thing would get off my screen, I put you into read mode so I didn't have to see that. Hold on, let me see if I can get rid of that. Show hide. I don't know if I can get rid of that. There we go. So Daredevil, Tightrope Walker, Trapeze Artist, Aerialist, Tumbler, Circus Act, Gymnast. Those are just some, those are awesome, really evocative ideas already of what is the style of character that you're building. If that's what you want to be, if you want to be a rogue or a monk or like a fighter that used these styles of acrobat, you know, or that you know, you were an acrobat and these are now playing into what it is that you are moving on to being an adventurer. We made a character who was an animal whisperer. I actually have it pulled up here. This is Fairwind Whisperwind. As you can see here, these are all the points that we had for that character. His drive was to conserve the natural order by hunting invasives. You can see that right there. It was a number 17. And we made this really awesome character style, or this character concept that was fully fleshed out, had clear enemies, had points and NPCs and locations that could be played into. I also used it to flesh out a character that I already had a little bit of information on, but wanted to elaborate more onto. And if I can find that one, here it is. Yeah. Ooh, what happened to that window? There it is. We had Malgo Malgo Forehammer, who he was coming up in his faith, his divine calling to the god Moradin, the dwarven god of the forge, but there were some issues with his church. You know, as he found out, Ortim the prophet was a charlatan claiming divine power to fleece commoners, and this antagonistic organization known as the Salted Earth that was trying to clear the way for a new era of dwarven society where they rely on their own strength instead of the power and calling of the divine and deities. Two very awesome characters that you know, I had Malgo from a little one-shot that me and my friends did. Very simply, I knew he was a dwarf, he was a forge cleric, and he worshipped Moradin. I rolled some dice. We got all these options. We kind of changed some things as we went along, and I have a really clear, cool background that is, I could take to any table, jumping into a new campaign, and sit down and hand this to the DM. This is straightforward enough to read through. It's not pages long. I could probably format it better. But with something like this, you can sit down at a table and it gives enough to the DM for them to play off of. And honestly, with some of the stuff you can do in this, you could have full on like campaigns with just one of these options, and I absolutely love it. Also, I don't know if you actually had it. I have to see. This is the alpha draft. I'm going to pull up the alpha draft real quick. This is the first version. Yeah, because this is the one that ends at artist. I'm curious to see. You did. Okay, I want to give you props, Ryan, because down here at the bottom, you have Wild Heart under Animal Whisperer for like Beastmaster, Wild Heart, Warden, Cat Lady, Vet Zoologist, and Raised by Wolves. I find that really hilarious because in the new UA and also in Baldur's Gate 3, the Totem Warrior Barbarian has been renamed the Wild Heart. And instead of being like, oh, well, I associate with this animal, or, you know, I'm the bear barbarian, or like I'm the wolf barbarian, the new Wild Heart is like, oh, like I'm taking on the powers of the bear, and I'm taking on the powers of the elephant, and I'm taking on the powers of the spider, and all these different things, and it's now called the Wild Heart. And when I saw that, I kind of got a good chuckle because I was listening to the Eldritch Lorecast, and one of the folks on there talked about how they remade the Beastmaster, or the Totem Warrior Barbarian, like a year or two ago, and they renamed it Wild Heart. So when I saw that, I was like, well, there's another case of it. So yeah, continue on. We have the Archivist. This is going to be somebody who was like a scholar. This could have been a scribe, a bookkeeper, a librarian. There we go. Trivia pursuer, bookworm collector, and curator. Somebody who spends most of their times around books. We have artisan, a craft master, guild member, skilled worker, specialist, trade person, and journeyman. So now we're really starting to dig into what some of these new options Ryan has offered to us. We have the artist, which I want to say I love the difference between artisan and artist. Whereas artisan, to me, and the way that this is presented, I'm glad that it kind of aligns. This is more of somebody who is really good with any kind of tools. You know, this is somebody who's out there really like working on a certain kind of craft. They are they're specialized in it. They are trying to master this one kind of craft, whereas artist is more in the sense of somebody expressing themselves. Like it says at the bottom, wordsmith, maestro, visionary, painter, free spirit, crafter, dancer, and sculptor. Because you could be an artist crafter, but you know that's you like really playing with like the marble that you have, whereas an artisan is going to be somebody that really focuses and sits down and understands their tools and their rocks and like gives it that hardcore feel. And I love that there is that distinction between the two of them. All right, the next one, Barkeep. This is my favorite. For those of you that don't know, I played a character very much based after myself named Lakis Pawalski, who was a sandwich maker, and he was an eloquence bard. And if I could have taken this, like this whole character concept, this is everything I wanted him to be. You know, and I also played a character named Felix Fortuna who ran a tavern named Lady Luck, and something like this would have played so well into it. And so I love seeing a barkeep on here because it's so fun to have the concept of playing a D&D character where you meet in a tavern with your adventuring pals and like, well, I'm a bounty hunter and I'm here because I'm, looking for this guy. And you have a rogue who's like, well, I'm here because my boss sent me to collect the fee on it. And you have a wizard who's sitting there. He's like, well, I heard that they're in possession of an ancient tome of secrets that I need for my cloister. And you got a cleric that's like, well, I was sent because my temple wants me to right the wrongs they're doing in the name of our God. And then you have the barkeep that's walking up from the back who's like, does anybody want a drink? And they end up joining the party. that's the character I want to play. I want to play the character who's like full on support, who's there to offer the help and is there to back up the rest of the party because he knows how to be hospitable. Funny enough, it reminds me of a bard subclass that I never fully realized, that was called the Bardic College of the Keeper. I kind of talked about it like here and there. I don't even know if I have my notes on it anywhere online. But it was all about being a bard who, oh, here it is, actually. I just found it. Yeah, so it's like proficiency with cook's utensils, brewer supplies, or an herbalism kit. Well, you get cook supplies, but then also a brewer supplies or an herbalism kit. You can add your charisma modifier, or whenever you make a performance check to entertain an audience, you can select a certain number of them to gain temporary hit points. You can use your reaction to grant a creature advantage on their persuasion or intimidation checks. You can prepare a meal that restores hit points to any creature that eats it, giving them an amount equal to your level plus your charisma modifier and temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. And then you can spend 10 minutes preparing an area, and for the next 8 hours, any creature that stays within this sanctuary gains the benefit of a short rest. So basically, oh wait, no, that should have been a long rest. Basically, it's like you could spend 10 minutes cleaning up an area, getting it ready, turning it into a nice little sanctuary, and it's so homely that anybody who goes there, if it's, I might have to change it because honestly, I probably understand why I put short rest now. It's like if you go there, you instantly get the effects of a short rest. It's so calming, and that while you're there, you get some extra temporary hit points. I want to make a character now who's a hospitality halfling, you know, College of the Keeper bard with the barkeep background, like fully develop that character. And that might be another stream we do, because I don't have all these details fleshed out, but that's an option. That'll probably be my next one that I work on. We did the Living Spell Weaver, and maybe I'll really dig back into the College of the Keeper. All right, so we have a barrister. This is going to be somebody who is a solicitor, an advocate, a justice, a law bearer, a legal eagle, tribunal agent, or a lawyer. To those that like having an idea about what kind of character this might be, I want to point you to a character that if you happen to watch the Phandalin 5 campaign, there's a character that we introduced not too long ago, who was there, who would be essentially a barrister. His name was Vangel Cuscult, and he was a dwarven priest of Tyr, and he adjudicates the legal disputes within the town of Lylon as put into place by Lord Neverember. He was the judge who was presiding over the trial that you, our lovely warlock, had to go through after his misdeed with the commoner and setting him on fire and all that. So personally, I would love to sit here and flesh out Vangel with some of these, because I like these drives and aspirations to me can fully sell a character in my own head. Like, where was it? Here it is. Winning arguments is a thrill in its own right. That right there is 100% just a character on its own. I could make that a character because that is just who I am personally. Now you ran away to another plane. That's right. He's now in the land of the dead. But yeah, I absolutely love these things. I love that, like, the barrister is the kind of character that most players would not think about, but then you come up to somebody that's playing a cleric of tier, and it makes sense. You know, like this would be a this would where my mind is mind slipping. This would be an order cleric, okay, that worships the god Tyr, where it's all right there, baby, right there. You know, the voice of authority, proficiencies in intimidation and persuasion, orders demand. Each creature within 30 feet must succeed a wisdom save or be charmed, and they are you know, they drop what they're doing. That's exactly it. An adventuring lawyer. You are the embodiment of law. Or what the other option would really be, an oath of the crown paladin, somebody who believes in the ideals of law, loyalty, courage, and responsibility. That this is the lawful of lawful paladins. This is the one where you are fully standing foot and your way is right. Yeah, man, love it. Violence begins where debate ends. That's right. The world's not fair, but we can make it so. I love these things. These are so cool. I love them. Such cool ways to flavor characters. All right, so next we have the bounty hunter. We'll talk about this one more. This is who we are actually looking at today, as I have two character concepts in mind. One that I have already worked on a little bit, and one we're gonna flesh out wholesale tonight. Charlatan. I have played a number of charlatans. This is going to be somebody that is out there scamming people on the street. Like it says at the bottom, con artist, hustler, grifter, bilker, pretender, mountebank, and fraud. These are going to be the people that are out there turning people to ruin. You know, they swindle them, they swipe what they can, they live second lives. Absolutely great information here. Criminals, rogues, thieves, outlaws, bandits, smuggler, syndicate member, desperado, and scofflaw. There's a criminal background. Most people that play rogues end up going criminal, in my opinion. So very useful one here. We have cultist, seeker, proclaimer, among the chosen, devotee, disciple, and shadow acolyte. Funny enough, I already used this one when I was looking through it, because this to me gives me so many good options for characters and NPCs. That's how I'm using this. Like, these magic items and meaningful objects, that's great for NPCs. These antagonistic organizations, the Crimson Crusade, that's just a great name. If you're not using it for what's on here, it's just an awesome name. Also, these evocative locations are sick. The sunken temple, buried site of worship for a long forgotten god, recently repurposed. Stuff like that, you as a DM can really play into these. And then finally, we have the one that we're going to be working on tonight, because we're making a duo team. This one 100% stripping for parts. That's the beautiful thing about this. Like, you could sit there and just pick and choose all kinds of different things. I mean, you can take bounty hunter and detective and say, okay, well, you know, wait, where's bounty hunter? There he is. It's like, okay, cool. I rolled, you know, let's say you roll a 6 on the assets and allies, an antiques dealer with connections to and rumors from all levels of society. Okay, that's cool, but detective on assets and allies is a tinkerer who crafts useful tools and has several areas of extensive knowledge. That to me would actually make would be a really cool ally for a bounty hunter, somebody that's out there helping you make tools to develop your ways of tracking and hunting, you know, crafting items for you to help you do stuff, to help you catch your targets. like going through this, it's just so good. It's there's so much to work with here. So yeah, detective, like I said, is one that we're going to be talking about today. That's a crime fighter, mystery solver, gumshoe, inspector, investigator, and case cracker. I look forward to setting this character up because I already have some details for the characters that we are making tonight. Now, the character that we're making, who I already started a little bit of, his name, let me zoom out. There we go. Because we already did a hybrid multi-class kind of background setup at my table, rolled fully on both archetypes and got some cool interactions. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the coolest thing about this is it's none of it is so hyper specific that you can't just use it for something else. All right, so the name of this character that we're going to be working on, his name is Varric. His name is Varric Thornfire. He is a tiefling. Where are my notes? Where are my notes? There we go. He is a tiefling gunslinger fighter. This was the idea. You totally used a name for that. You're absolutely right. I use a name generator for everything. If it was up to me, it would have been something like Hunty or what Hounty Bunter. That would have been his name. His name would have been Hounty Bunter. But no, 100% using a whatchamacallit, a generator. Let's scale those down. Are those? Yeah, I thought those were. Only to his friends. So his name is Varric Thornfire, and the points that I got on here, because I already rolled for this character. So the points that I got were to prove their worth after being underestimated. Let me fix that. There we go. So to prove their worth after being underestimated, the call to adventure, I got a 12 on that. That one is the one that got away, which to me already started to sell what was the idea of them being underestimated. The transformation and growth and character arc that we got was mixed reputation to honored and celebrated. So obviously, this character is already starting out as being underestimated by some overarching group, and that possibly has a tie into the one that got away. The mixed reputation, well, obviously this is probably somebody who's out there doing this as a job, and there's probably people that know the one that got away, and they probably call him on that, or there's something that goes along with that. So at this point, I was already starting to have some thoughts and have some ideas about what I was going to be working with. Let me just put these bullet points in. Make my life a little easier so I can take that away. Friendly factions, I rolled a 1 on that and got the Arcane Eyes. Practitioners of Divination, expensive with no guarantees but often useful. I was really excited about that one because I love divination magic, and I think it's so cool that a bounty hunter would be aligned with a group of diviners, people that seek knowledge and information and secrets. This played really well into who the asset and ally was, and that was Stu Lee, the petty criminal with no stomach for violence. His main trade is selling information. Sorry, I suddenly thought of my gingerbreadian from the X-Mix one-shot and now feel they have a bounty of them for someone. Okay, well, maybe. And then the magic item and meaningful object that I got was the spectral snare, which I was like, okay, like 100% this is coming from the arcane eyes. While this isn't necessarily something that is divination, I actually doubled this one up and went the cuffs of compliance, because the spectral snare sounds like something that a bounty hunter would have. Okay, a reusable trap that restrains targets when triggered, and it's invisible when armed. That is sick. Having something like that where you can set a trap and it's invisible until it's triggered, that's so cool. Like, I just want to see, like to have that in an in-game is already really awesome. I gotta move this. I gotta grab something right there. But the cuffs of compliance 100% comes from the arcane eyes. The arcane eyes is like, hey, divination, divination is the is the one that draws out secrets. This is going to be something that helps you enchant people and charm them. This is going to help you really dig into who this person is. So I love the cuffs of compliance. Those for you. They could have been, I love the name of it. But definitely more of like a when I saw this, I thought of the lasso of truth from Wonder Woman. That was kind of the vibe that I got. I gotta enter my stream deck on. There we go. All right, so down here, antagonistic organizations, I got the web of spiders. So a shady spy network that recruits urchins, barkeeps, and other informants. The web of spiders in that description is a clear antagonist, not just to this character, not just to Varric, but is an antagonist to the arcane eyes. Like, you have one group that is practitioners of divination magic, and you have a group of shady spies that is filled with informants. Like, there is no way that these two aren't rival organizations. The rivals and enemies, I got Zola Shadowfoot. This to me sold the beginning of this character. There we go. This to me was the one that got away. A former tracker turned thief, using her skills and knowledge to evade capture. This was Varric's own partner. Okay, that's the route that I went with this, because I loved this concept of a former tracker turned thief. So cool. Such a cool character. All, like, right then and there, I was sold on this design. Evocative locations, I had the Sanctuary, which is a secret temple of the god of thievery that's fleecing followers of other faiths. So that to me right there is when I saw the Sanctuary, I was like, okay, this is going to be where the web of the spider is building out from. Okay. I was like, this is very simply where the Web of Spiders is an organization, and they are working out of the Sanctuary. Now, to me, a secret temple to the god of thievery that's fleecing followers of other faiths. I had the idea of this being a large polytheistic temple, okay, that is kind of a sham place of ritual for multiple gods, where when you walk in, it's this large circular cathedral or temple. And when you walk in, you enter in through these grand doors, and you walk down a very long hallway. And then from that hallway comes a circular room that has multiple halls going off in, you know, we could go the 8 directions. So if you're coming from the south, you'd have 7 halls extending outward. And down those halls, you would have rooms, places for prayer for other gods. Because if you think about that, design, let's pull this up. So if you think about a temple that's circular in design, where you're walking down a long hall. Wait, what's going on? There we go. Where you walk down a long hallway in the center that leads to a circular room in the very middle. And from there spreads outwards in every direction. Let's send that to the back and then bring it forward 1. So you got one there. And then you have each one coming out. And if you can't already see what this is starting to look like, and then from there you have branching rooms and hallways that can connect them. And I think if you do this enough, you already have the design for what is the sanctuary. It's the web of spiders. Now, I had this thought. I was like, okay, this is a cool design for this temple. It's so hard to tell because when you're in there, it's just a variety of rooms. It's places you can visit. You know where your god is. You have to go in. You have to take hallway 3. And then you go to the 3rd door on the left. That's where you can go to pay your respects to Tempest, or you can go to pay your respects to Ogma. But if you wander around, 3 inches high, if you wander around, you just kind of get lost in the web of it all. And you can just wander. That to me sold that Zola, who was the former tracker, I already had in mind that she was going to be working with the web of spiders. But this to me sold that, like, okay, she's got to be like drow or half drow. Because who do drow worship? Lolth, the queen of spiders. The sanctuary in itself is dedicated in this idea I had to Lolth, because it is a spider that catches flies. You catch those unsuspecting and you suck them of the vitality and life that they have. What is more of a thief than Lolth? So, and it is in my mind probably a secret temple, or a temple that is more than likely dedicated to multiple gods. But whenever I thought of this, I was like, 100% secret temple to Lolth. Thematic monsters, I rolled a 6 on that, which I got pit gassed. Underground knife-eared mutts can never be good. Knife-eared mongrel mutts. That is, that's right. Underground knife-eared mongrel mutts. That is what Zola is. So the thematic monster I got was pit gas, fugitives from hell using hot chains that bind them as weapons. That was so sick that I was like, do I even want to look at any, like doppelgangers probably would have been more evocative, or not evocative, but would have been so much more appropriate. And I was very tempted to throw the doppelganger in there for the thematic monsters. I really just like the concept of pit gas, like these humanoid spectral figures that have chains bound to their arms that are literally like embedded into them, that have reach attacks where they can do, like, you know, multi-attack whips with chains that deal some bludgeoning damage instead. But you know what? We have the freedom. And Riot gave us the permission there. Doppelganger shapeshifts into others' forms to frame them for crimes that they commit. That is so something that the Web of Spiders would do. And lastly, the thing that is one of the more important ones, the one that really leads after you have major character, and this is the thing that is really setting them forward on this path. Which one? What did I get? The people. Here we go. I had a 2. The people posting bounties are turning up dead, robbed of their money. So this to me was one that I had to change, only for a little bit, and that was with a signature mark, the symbol of a spider web, the calling card. So this was the character. This was all I rolled this character up while I was at work. I took 5 minutes to roll the dice, copy these down, and then I spent maybe like an hour or two while I was checking the outdates on cigarettes, coming up with different things that I could work with, because I had this on my phone. I had these notes pulled up, and I was like, you know, who is this character and what has happened to him? So the character that I came up with this whole thing, and let me see if I can get all my details here. I can find the right one. Wait, do I need? Yeah, I want that. Okay. There we go. Now this thing's not being so finicky. All right, so the character that I came up with from all this details, Varric Thornfire grew up hearing tales of cunning bounty hunters, those who brought justice to the world by catching the wicked. The passion for this sense of justice was embedded in him from a young age. The idea of a criminal being unearthed and facing consequences for their own actions was invigorating to him. As he matured, he found himself training under a reputable bounty hunter, absorbing the nuances of the trade. Although Varric wasn't necessarily the sharpest in connecting clues, his agility and strength were unmatched. This idea of him being the strong one, the bouncer, the muscle of a party, was birthed from the idea of me wanting to have the detective be his partner, but was also birthed from his rival being his partner, his tracker. somebody that was better at connecting the clues and figuring out who done it, like where they were. Although Varric wasn't necessarily the sharpest in connecting clues, his agility and strength were unmatched. This prowess caught the eye of Zola Shadowfoot, a half-drow tracker with an uncanny ability to piece together the most cryptic information. Together, Varric's brawn and Zola's brains seemed to be an unstoppable force, claiming bounty after bounty. Their dynamic synergy grew into a deep trust, a bond that Varric believed was unbreakable. Yet their bond was put to the test during their mission to apprehend a cunning criminal named Lysander Greycloak. In the climax of their pursuit, just as victory seemed certain, the unimaginable happened. Zola betrayed Varric, revealing her true allegiance to the web of the spider. With her assistance, Lysander ambushed Varric, leaving him severely injured and on the brink of death. Years later, Varric carried the weight of betrayal, but fueled with a renewed sense of purpose, re-entered the world of bounty hunting. As fate would have it, he soon found himself in the company of the Arcane Eyes, a select group of elite diviners who hold the power to see what many cannot. It was through his association that Varric discovered that Stu Lee, the very informant who saved his life... Oh, shoot, I forgot to put that in my notes earlier. Sorry. After he was left for dead, Stu Lee was the one who never trusted Zola and thought something was always off about her, and was there when Zola betrayed him, was the one that actually saved his life. Where am I at? It was through his association that Varric discovered that Stu Lee, the very informant who saved his life, was in fact one of the Arcane's eyes and ears on the streets. Always in the heart of the city's underbelly, Stu Lee's unique position allowed him to gather tidbits of information most wouldn't have access to. The Arcane Eyes, recognizing Varric's tenacity and prowess, decided to provide him with the spectral snare, and we're going to go with the cuffs of compliance as well. However, the past is not easy to leave behind. Rumors are circulating that those who have posted bounties are being mysteriously murdered. Each victim is found with their reward money stolen and a haunting symbol, the spiderweb. Lost my place. Varric, with the memory of Zola's betrayal fresh in his mind, knows that this is the doing of the web of spiders. The game of cat and mouse has resumed, and Varric is determined to bring Zola and her sinister organization to justice. Hints and whispers from the shadows have pointed towards the Sanctuary, a revered temple to the god Lolth, a revered polytheistic temple, a secret temple to the goddess Lolth, and the secret base of the web of spiders. Yet acting upon this information is risky. The Sanctuary is not just any location, it is a sacred site that draws many followers from all corners of the realms and all faiths. Varric is aware of the gravity of attacking a religious hub based merely on suspicion. The consequences would be dire, and he would certainly find himself at odds with an entire pantheon. Before making any move against the Sanctuary, Varric knows he must be certain. He's keen on gathering undeniable evidence that the web of spiders operates from within its hallowed halls. To this end, he begins a meticulous investigation, diving deeper into the tangled web of espionage and deceit, with the hope of unmasking the truth without starting a holy war. So there we go. That was the general background put together based off of rolling some dice. And this is a character that if you slap that down in front of a dungeon master and you say, hey, here's my character. He's a tiefling. He's a tiefling gunslinger named Varric. He was betrayed. He's a bounty hunter. He was betrayed by his tracker partner Zola a few years ago, and she's a member of a group called the Web of Spiders, which is basically this organization of urchins and informants and barkeeps and all these shady folk that is working out of a temple to get money and to get information and basically become like kind of like the Zentrum, if you will. But he's allies with he has a couple allies within a group known as the Arcane Eyes that are diviners and folks that work within, you know, on the good side of all of this, you know, of the good side of information. But Varric is out there to find Zola and put this whole thing to an end. And in the his reputation was stymied. Okay, when he was tricked, when he was betrayed, his reputation suffered. How could he not know that his own partner was going to betray him? Now he wants to get that one that got away. He wants to get Zola. And that's it. Right there. That's enough for a DM to sit there and say, okay, cool. I have an organization to put in their way. That the web of spiders is going to have plenty of play into drow spies, urchins. They can't go to any random tavern. If this group is found to be working against the web of spiders, every tavern could be essentially a hub for scum and villainy. You know, I have some cool, you know, beneficial characters and NPCs that I can put in with the Arcane Eyes. It's such using this supplement is such an easy way to make a cool character that it's criminal. Okay, something that you can take 1 to 2 hours to really fully flesh in all the details, but you don't even need that. Okay, you just really need like half an hour to just start to absorb some of this. And that's what I want to do. That's what we're gonna jump into. We've done 2 characters in the past. I want to do another one of these, and we're gonna do his ally. We're gonna do together the detective. So let me copy some stuff over here. Let me get myself prepped and ready. Why is that not letting me paste? There we go. Wait, I don't know why I had so many spaces there. All right, and we will delete this. Gotta say though, love the name Stu Lee. When I saw Stu, I was like, like, I always think of Stu Pickles from the Rugrats. I was like, the name is spelled S-T-E-W, and all I can think of is this is a guy who's out on the street who carries around a bowl of stew or is like stirring a pot of stew, like listening to people, because that character right there, like honestly, you could play Stu Lee as a character already in himself, with if I can pull it up fast enough. Yes, here it is. With this character, come on, get into the window. There we go. This character right here, this to me is who Stu Lee would be. Okay, you know, you got somebody that's getting tracked down, you got somebody that's, you know, on the run, and there's that guy over there that's, you know, that's you know, constantly stirring stew. They're just unexpected. This guy right here, this homeless guy.
Take me to him. Tell him it's John Wick.
Like, I love this interaction. It's so innocuous, it's so random, you don't know what, you know, what is to come from it.
You know, they put it in everything. Hey man, you gotta call.
Like, that to me right there, that is Stu Lee. He's the guy that's unsuspecting, but he's always listening. He's always out there gathering information. He can, you know, he like it said in his information, he has no stomach for violence. So he's not going to sit there and he's not going to fight that. But he'll hide you. He'll sneak you out. He'll get you going. He'll get you to where you need to be and get you the information you want. Oh, loved that character. All right, so first things first, we need to roll some dice. So let me pop up my window over here. All right, and pop that onto the screen somewhere. Here we go. We'll move that up for the time being. So we got our nice little 5e.tools dice roller right over here. Actually, I can just leave it there. Good. All right, so what do we need? We need a 20, a 12. Actually, we need one of everything. Okay. So, ooh, excuse me. I roll all at once. That's right. Actually, I don't even have to put one. I can just put two, D20, D12, D8, D4, D6, and D10. I do actually roll them all at once. I roll them on the main page. And then I'll do it on here, and then I'll go through and see what the options it gives us are to really have it be truly random. And then from there, if I feel that one thing is better than another, or one thing has a better story. Oh, shoot. Why didn't that work? Okay. We'll have to do them one by one. Here we go. Just because, you know, this is really just a tool. Deeply satisfying to throw. Ah, yes, that is true. I will give you that. Funny enough, actually, at the last game that I ran at my library game, I kind of scared my players a little bit because I don't normally roll with physical dice that often. Most of the time when I'm rolling, I will end up rolling on the virtual tabletop that I use, and I will have that just kind of count for everything. But I was going to be doing a lot of rolls, and I didn't want to have to keep going back into the dice roller on the VTT that I use. So when I play in person, I have my bag right down here. So I can find it quickly. It is. There it is. So when I play in person, I bought each one of my players these things from Gale Force 9. They're a little tin. I bought one for each of my players. They have a dry erase board character sheet inside. They're pretty small. But they come with a bunch of little tokens. It's just a nice little carrying, metal tin. The tokens that come with the DM one, this is the Dungeon Master one, are for inspiration. You can give these to your players for inspirations, but I just use this as a nice little kind of carry-all. I never got that. I just got a piece of wood with a carpet scrap. You know what? You're absolutely right. Hold on, Jared. Hold on. And you know what, brother? They're still here. I still use these to this day. Like, I still have this. I still have this just on my desk because if I want to roll dice, this is what I will reach for. Even though, to Ryan's credit, I got this off of Temu, which is a really nice snap together kind of like pleather dice tray, arguably a better version than this. I still use this because it's just there, and like I keep this one for when I play D&D with my niece and nephew. But yeah, so I know you still have the you know what? I do. I 100% do. But it's in the closet because I know what box it's in. And it's in the box that has all my like in-person custom D&D stuff. Custom made for a character you deleted in like 8 sessions. It was a little longer than that, but you know, you're not far off. Yeah. That was the start of the character, yeah, where I write my notes as a journal entry. That was like a handful of sessions where I wrote my notes as a journal entry, and then I kind of stopped that. It just got to be so much. But yeah, man, those were fun days. Those were fun days. The book arrives one session before you got rid of them. Ain't that the truth? Oh man. But yeah, so I yeah, so yeah, back to rolling just a shit ton of dice. So like I said, I normally have this with me, and most of my players know it as this is where I keep little notes. So for example, I bought some note cards, some like 3x5 note cards, and anytime that I want to illustrate something, I'll like draw on it. Like that, for example, was like something that was on a ritual site. Like it was a mask made of flesh with dragon wings near it. And then I also have on here a rope of mending, a swimming cap, a potion of fire breath, and a circlet of blasting. So some magic items that my players got. But for the first time, I got to scare the hell out of my players because I have a set of dice that I got on a Kickstarter. This was one of the first Kickstarters I ever backed, called the Dice of Rolling. And they're color coded specifically to make it easier to know what dice you're using. So for example, D20s are blue. Oh god, this is gonna fuck. There we go. Yeah, D20s are blue, D6s are orange, the D12 is red, because that's the barbarian's hit die, and it's, you know, the blood of the barbarian. The D4s are hard to see, but they're purple, and then your D10 your D100 is yellow, D8s are black, D10s are green. They don't ever see these that often, but I poured them out onto the lid of this thing, and it like echoed across the room we were in, and they all looked, and I was like I looked down at it as I rolled them, and I just started going, okay, so that's 2 and 1 is 3, that is 4, that's a 7, okay, there's a 20, so that's 27. They started sweating like no one's business. Okay, it was one of the funniest things that I ever got to see. The panic set in their faces as they thought I was rolling some kind of damage, or, you know, who knows what I would have been rolling that had that many dice associated with it. But absolutely loved that moment of just pure sweat. It's kind of like when you randomly look at your players as they might just be talking and chatting, and you know, they might be role playing by themselves or traveling somewhere, and you just ask one of those innocuous questions of, hey, what's your constitution score? They tell you it's like 12. Okay, so that's a +1 modifier. Okay, and then you just like write something down, and when they ask why, it's like, oh, you know, I just need to know how long you can hold your breath. Because that right there is like, you know, just pure screwing with them. It's one of my favorite things. All right, so let us build this character. So, what is our detective? What is their drive, their dream, their aspiration? We rolled a 3. Outsmart and thwart crimes in all its forms. Perfect. All right. Catalysts, calls to action, and lore drops so we got an 8. A kindly constable mentored them. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Transformation, character arc, and growth. We got an 8. Making peace with the idea they can't solve it all. Ooh. I like that. That one's cool. Being that they're traveling with somebody who, you know, who has had that moment of failure, their association with Varric will be, I gotta put this name up here, will be very cool to see how that plays together. All right, on to friendly factions. We had 4, the Veil Watchers. I don't know this word. I'm gonna Google it. Given to begging. Oh, a beggar. Okay. Veil Watchers. Mendicant sect worshipping the god of knowledge who seeks wisdom over all. How is that not so perfect? Oh, okay. Hold on. I have to look at something. I want to look at the I want to look at the character arcs real quick. Skeptical cynic to giving. Ooh. Okay. All right. God of knowledge. I'm already gonna say this is probably gonna be Ogma. I like Ogma. Ogma's a cool god. Did I spell that right? No, I didn't. I spelled that wrong. It's Ogma. Yeah. The Lord of Knowledge, 100%. 100%. We're gonna go with Ogma. Oh God. The Mendicant sect worshipping. So a group of beggars. This is just like so along. This is who Stu Lee belongs to. This is 100% who Stu Lee belongs to. Stu Lee belongs. He's not a member of the he might be. He probably helps the Arcane Eyes, but he is 100% a member of the Veil Watchers. Like that's almost exactly what that beggar character is. Oh my God, that's awesome. All right, shit, that's so cool. I love that. Okay, character arcs. Skeptical cynic to having faith restored. Haughty hubris to trusting in others. Okay, so he doesn't trust others, but he wants to. Oh, skeptical cynic to having faith restored. Okay. Dispassionate observer to empathetic member. Hard-nosed realist to optimistic idealist. Obsessed with past to focused on the future. Gruff loner. Oh! Sorry, that was really loud. But I'm changing this. Gruff loner to passionate team member. I think that is, I don't know. I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of, like, you know, he wants to do it on his own, but he knows he has to work with others. See, I will say that loners is always one of those touchy subjects that I get on whenever talking about character, like D&D characters, because obviously, you know, D&D is a multiplayer game. So gruff loner to passionate. I think this is gonna be, I think this is what it's gonna be. Is he thinks he can do it all. And maybe that's something that that bites him in the ass later. All right, we'll have to see. We can always change things. I changed a few things from the other one, so we can always change. Assets and allies. I had 2. Melanie Manyface joyfully infiltrates any level society for a substantial price, of course. Interesting. All right. So we've used up these 5. Glum Marvin. I want to read some of these. Alien Black, true neutral pawnbroker and part-time fence with friends in very low places. Okay. We have Melanie Manyface. Glum Marvin, a morose ghost of backstabbed murder victim, drops cynical or cryptic clues on occasion. That's really funny. I like that. I like Glum Marvin. Maria Morstain runs a tavern and is always in the know about the local rumor mill. Major Halpern, curmudgeonly retired city watch leader filled with stories and advice. And Svai Kovanya. Tinker who crafts useful tools and has several areas of oh shit, I like this one. A tinker who crafts oh yeah, we actually talked about this one. I was like, wait, why does this sound so familiar? That's cool. That'd be a good one for the Arcane Eye. See, this is the point that, like, as the DM in me is sitting here saying, like, oh, this is an NPC that works for the Arcane Eye. She's one of the ones that makes those tools for the Arcane Eye. So I'm definitely digging that. No, we're gonna follow the dice on this one. We're gonna go Melanie Manyface. Joyfully infiltrates any level of society for a substantial price, of course. Obviously, she's gonna be somebody that will be who this character could reach out to while exploring that information about the web of spiders. Now, obviously, we haven't gotten to their antagonistic organization, but we will get to that. All right. Magic items and meaningful objects. We had a 6. Lens of Deciphering. Translates any written language viewed through it 1 page per day. That is sick. You know, I want to say just kudos to Ryan with coming up with very cool magic items and coming up with like 10 of them per character. Okay, like Soul Ring can hold 1 soul at a time of a recently defeated creature for 5 questions. So you have a one-time, or you have the ability to cast Speak with Dead with it. Like, as a DM, I would probably put a little bit of a limit on that, just because Speak with Dead is what, 3rd or 2nd? 3rd level. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was 3rd, but like okay, cool. Once a day, when a creature is killed within 10 feet of you, you can absorb its soul into the ring. After which, you can then summon the soul to ask it 5 questions, basically casting Speak with Dead on it. Like, that in itself, it seems like the thing for, well, that was it. It's very similar to that. That one let you do it a lot. I mean, that's the thing. I think putting a limit on how many times you can cast Speak with Dead is, is probably a good thing. But like, Eclipse Gem creates an area of magical darkness for 1 minute once per day. That's awesome. That's, yeah. So you're giving somebody the ability to cast darkness once per day. Like, I just commend you for being able to come up with these, because they're very short, they're very simple, and you don't get into the weeds with the specifics of them. And that's the good thing, because you can, in stuff like that, you can leave it up to the DM to say, okay, the lens of deciphering, okay, it's one page per day. Maybe in time you can get that upgraded. Or shadow souled boots not only improve stealth, but they're quite fashionable. That in itself is so okay, cool. You have advantage on stealth checks. But and you have or maybe you get like a +2 to stealth, and you get a +2 to charisma, or you're not charisma, but performance or persuasion, or you make it so that you make it so that it's like you get advantage on stealth, but your boots stand out, so it's like I don't know, it would be fun to like play into how like the boots improve are super quiet, but they're really loud, in person. So if you are moving in shadow, you have advantage on stealth, but if you're not, you have disadvantage. Something like that. It would be really funny. Super challenge, keep it system neutral, but it lets you focus on. That's exactly it. It's exactly it. All right, so we got lens of deciphering. Awesome. Okay, now we are on to more of the back side of things, more of the DM side of things, in my opinion. Antagonistic organizations. We got a 3. This is the Blood Pact. Lawless mercenary force, dangerous on the battlefield and also at the bar. That sounds pretty badass. What else do we got? I'm very curious. Assassins for hire excel at making it look like an axe. Oh. I'm already sold on this one, but we're gonna keep reading. The Gritty Syndicate, petty criminals who don't quite cross the line to evil. That's really funny that we already have Stu Lee, and kind of sounds like what he's doing. Iron Octagon, underground fighting ring, distrusts outsiders but still takes their bets. That's cool. Chain Breakers, cult of imprisoned evil god, practicing freeing prisoners. Oh, I don't care. I don't care in what way. I'm gonna put this over here. I don't care in what way it gets used. 100% chain breakers line up so perfectly with pit gas. Like, pit gas and chain breakers. Pit gas would be the monsters that the chain breakers would summon and have as like their main, like as one of their monsters. That is such a badass idea, and I want to. You don't have it on here, okay? You don't have it on here, and I'm going to assume that you, when you put imprisoned evil god, I am going to wholeheartedly believe that you are referring to the chained god, the elemental eye, Tharizdun. because Jared will know this out there in the chat. Thurisdan is a god that I'm very well aware of. Because I ran an entire campaign based on the cult of Thurisdan, poor Smith, based on the cult of Thurisdan going around and desecrating the artifacts of the gods that imprisoned him. And those gods were, because I have it in a drop down, you can't see it on screen here, those gods were Pelor, Tritherion, Heronius, Bocob, Saint Cuthbert, Reo Rudd, and I think Istis was added later. Yeah, I think she was. Oh, no. She appeared later. But she was not one of the gods that chained him. We have pamphlets. We do. We do have pamphlets to the Lord Pelor. Have you seen the light of Pelor today? Learn to embrace his light today. You know what? Let's read the 4 tenets of Pelor. Let's remind ourselves. Give aid to those in need. Provide true strength through words and not physical violence. Strive to perform as many good deeds as possible to leave no room for evil. And do not allow evil to blind you from the 2 most important aspects of life, compassion and goodness. Oh, man. What a fun campaign. That was the campaign. I actually recently was telling somebody, I think it was a comment on a YouTube video where they were asking, praise Pelor, that's right. They were asking, had I ever had a player cry at the table because of something that happened in the game? And I told the story of Bagbo, and how our friend Kevin, who played she played Kyra in the Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign, or he played Kyra in the Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign. He played a bugbear barbarian named Bagbo, who at one time worshipped Hrugek, the bugbear god of war, but eventually left. He was a barbarian. He was a fierce and ferocious warrior. He eventually left the battlefield when he fell in love with his wife, who followed the goddess. I don't really remember her name. Let me see her. Oh, Myriadar. And so what happened was, it was that same campaign. They went to a temple where there was a desecration, and so they found not one idol, but 2, one to Hrugek and one to Myriadar. And Bagbo had to choose which god he would pull towards, because he was playing a zealot barbarian, and zealot barbarians have to choose when they make their subclass whether their divine fury is radiant or necrotic. But I gave him the ability to do both, where Myriadar was radiance and Hrugek was necrotic. So this would lock them off from that other option, for good or for bad. But the thing was that when he got there, he saw visions of the 2 gods. And Myriadar explained that he had to make the choice, but Hrugek went on to talk about how it was obvious that Bagbo was going to choose him because he's the source of his strength, his might, his rage. And it was then that Hrugek exclaimed, oh, by the way, to preface this, Bagbo fell in love with his wife. They got pregnant, but she died in childbirth. And that sent him on a journey of self-discovery to spread the word of Myriadar, who's a goddess of unity. and like, you know, of the world. So, but the thing is that he kind of went on a rage-filled burst for a little bit before turning to that. So Hrugek basically said, he's like, you know, you should have. He's like, well, it's obvious that he's going to choose me. I'm the source of his strength, his might, his rage. He's like, you should have seen him the day I killed that whelping woman. He went on to rage for days, burning through a power I'd never seen before. And it was at that point that the table went silent. He looked at me with this like, with these like huge eyes, and he's like, what? And Hrugek's, well, he's like, well, obviously, he's like, you were my greatest warrior, you were the best. He's like, you were the barbarian everyone feared, but then you left it all, and I had to figure out a way to sever that connection and bring you back to the battlefield. So I cursed your wife and child, killing them in childbirth. But it brought you back to who you are, Bagbo the Barbarian. And he went off. He raged, instantly slashed into Hrugek's ethereal form. The party fought against this visage of him, and when it was all said and done, when it was all over, Myriadar stood there before him, and Bagbo like dropped to his knees before her, basically proclaiming that she was the only god he would follow. And she made him rise and said that through her powers of unity, she would allow him to connect with his family in the border ethereal for a short time. So in that moment, Bagbo was able to step into the border ethereal and connect with his wife and unborn child, who he was able to see and hold, and tell that he loved. And there were tears. The room was very quiet, and that is a moment I will always remember from that campaign. You know, that was your first rogue. That's right. That was also the campaign where I got to play up how Justin's character and Smith's character were half brothers. You know, that was something I sat on for so long about them being half brothers, as I've only ever played rogues or warlocks in main campaigns. That's weird. Well, I mean, in Baldur's Gate, you're playing a bard. But yeah, I just love that. Like seeing chain breakers in the imprisoned evil god, that immediately made me think of Thurisdan, bringing back all those memories of that campaign. Damn. Good times. Good times. All right. I just remember the prequel one-off for that campaign. Oh, you mean the campaign that was supposed to be the campaign before I TPK'd everyone? Oh, you're talking about that one. Oh, you're talking about that one, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess that would have been something around there, yeah. I thought you were talking about I thought you were talking about how that was supposed to be the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and that I TPK'd you guys because of the Nothic in Trezendare Manor, and then completely changed the entire scope of the campaign. Oh my god. That was a fun time. Oh man, tell you what, man, those were chaotic days. Real chaotic sessions. Those were real chaotic campaigns. I remember the prequel to I don't know if it was a prequel or like in the future to Justin's campaign, where we got to do some PvP. And anybody who went against me, like whoever was on my team, just won. Because I ended up making half the characters for that. At least I don't when he TBKs us. Went to hell to watch Kelf get destroyed. That's true. That's true. Yep. Yeah, I never fully understood what happened there. We all got like, we got captured and taken to like a mind flayer prison, and then Kelf, fucking face-shaped T-Rex bullshit. Yep, that's right. If anybody ever wants to, I won't tell a story here. We'll save it for another day. But to put it in perspective, if you get a shepherd druid and you have them cast Conjure Woodland Beings and you summon 8 sprites, you can have 4 of them cast upon a party of level, I think it's level 8 characters. What's the C over T-Rex? Is it 8 or is it 11? 8. So as long as you are a party of level 8 characters, you can cast the spell Conjure Woodland Beings, and you can summon 8 fey creatures of CR 1/4 or lower, which would be one of the options, a sprite, which has, or no, not a sprite, a pixie, which has innate spell casting, and the main ones that you need to worry about are fly and polymorph. So all you do is you have the 8 pixies, you have 4 of them cast polymorph onto 4 players, 4 level 8 players, turning them into T-Rexes. You then have the other 4 cast fly on those T-Rexes. Now you have T-Rexes, which I believe fly has is that you get a 60-foot fly speed. Yeah. So for 10 minutes, you have a 60-foot flying speed T-Rex with 2 attacks, each with a +10 to hit, dealing 4d12 plus 7 damage. And if the creature is small or is medium or smaller, it's also grappled and restrained. And being that you are a shepherd druid, because the thing is what you have to realize, if the pixies break concentration, and it's very likely because they're gonna die first, considering fly is concentration and so is polymorph. But if you are playing a shepherd druid, the shepherd at level 8 allows, or no, at second level allows you to give the bear spirit, which is that anything you summon within your aura gets temporary hit points equal to 5 plus your level. So at level 8, you have to be level 8 to at least do this. They're getting 13 temporary hit points. On top of that, at 6th level, because again, we're level 8, the creature has 2 extra hit points per hit die. So a pixie only has 1 hit die, so it's only getting 2 extra. So it's up to 16 hit points. And on top of that, when a beast or fey, these are fey, are summoned and or created with a spell that ends its turn in my spirit area, it regains hit points equal to half of my druid level. So here's the thing, if you're doing this at 10th level, great, but if you're doing it at least 8th, then these little SOBs are able to be summoned, cast their spells, turning a party of 4 into flying T-Rexes, and then all you do is you take your pixies, you put them in a small bag or like a crock pot, and you put that crock pot into your bag, and you go and you hide in a corner, because since they are in a crock pot or some kind of pot. They cannot be targeted by AoE spells because they're in total cover. On top of that, they have extra hit points, and they don't have to make saves against their concentration because they can't be targeted. So it was such a broken thought. And then yes, Camel Storm is the other one where when you cast the spell conjure animals, and you can summon 8 creatures of challenge rating 1/4 or lower. This also plays into some weird broken stuff. One of these things is a camel, and camels weigh a grotesque amount of weight. Camels weigh on average about 1,000 pounds. And they're large, and you're summoning 8 of these, and conjure animals allows you to upcast, having twice as many, 4 times as many actually if you get up to a 19th level spell slot. But the thing is that this spell specifically states that the spirits take the form and appear in unoccupied spaces you can see within range, and 60 feet in the air is a range in which you can see. So yeah, that is a spell where you can summon at 5th level, you can summon 8 camels in the air 60 feet above you, which would then fall on enemies, dealing to them the fall damage of a 1,000-pound camel dropping onto their head. And the camels will die and vanish. That's exactly it. The camels, the moment the camels die, they are just poofed out of existence. So it's not even a big deal. But even if they're not, even if the camels did stay, that's hilarious. Like, even if you took this part out, that is such an intimidation tactic. You know, you sneak up to the goblin camp, you know, you're in like a bush, and you summon conjure animals above it, raining camels down onto them, and it's just like the sound of splatters hitting everything. It would be so insane. Oh man, I love theory crafting. Conjure animals, and somebody readies the enlarge, but you can only cast enlarge on 1 creature, sadly. That would be funny though, if you could somehow cast enlarge on all of them. The only thing that I thought of is like using the sorcerer's meta magic to like increase the range so you could do it even farther away. That would be hilarious. The final camel is Queen Marshmallow the alpaca. That's right. Nobody screws with Queen Marshmallow. Oh man. Oh yeah. To those that don't know what Jared's referring to there. Oh nope. Did not mean to click that. Here we go. Queen Marshmallow. She is the best. All right, so back to where we were, man. We took a hell of a tangent there. All right, let's get back into this character. So we got a detective that is out there wanting to outsmart and thwart crime in all its forms. His call to adventure, his lore drop, is a kindly constable mentored them. I'm not gonna lie, I did look at the number 4 that to me really speaks volumes if maybe this mentor is dead, but if not, no big deal. I also really liked greatly deceived once but never again. That, you know what, here's the thing, I see things and I like them. Greatly deceived once but never again, that so much plays into his transformation. He's a gruff, he trusted once and he got deceived, never again, but he needs to learn to trust. He needs to learn to, you know, to trust people again. He needs to not feel that everybody's out there to screw him over. All right, so we were down here on rivals and enemies. I'm very, very curious to see who our rival is, and our rival is number 6, Mauro Gaspare. Don't know. A rival detective whose self-promotion outshines his power of deduction. Okay. Interesting. So this is another rival who's out there, who's basically probably taking a lot of his work. And he's not solving everything, but he's very good at making it seem like he is. That's really cool. I like that. Here's the thing. I like that in comparison, not that Zola Shadowfoot isn't a great rival. I like this because this is a rival in the sense of, like, he's somebody that's going to show up. You could have this guy show up more often in places where this character is going to be exploring and looking for clues, and Mauro just pops up and is like, oh, I see you followed the same clues that I did. Well, I guess, you know, everybody gets, I guess a broken clock is right twice a day, but these are my clues, and, well, he kind of like looks up the, you know, the detective up and down. He's like, I think most people will understand that it was my discovery. That's really cool, because it's not like somebody like Zola, who that's going to be somebody that's going to be a like a campaign shaping encounter where the players are going to find Zola, and that's going to be a fight. Okay, that's going to be something, or they're going to have to track her or chase her through the city in order to capture her and find out, you know, what she knows and, you know, put her to justice. That's going to be a big thing. But I really like the idea of this Mauro Gaspare just being somebody who is who's out there really just to screw over this character and screw over, you know, our main detective. That's a cool one. All right, number 5 on evocative locations, we have the Clock Tower, filled with moving mechanisms, grand views, and steep falls. Interesting. I like, I really like the combination of, like, the Veil Watchers having the grand view, and maybe the Clock Tower being the location where the Veil Watchers are. But I also don't feel like the Veil Watchers would do something so grandiose. But I feel like the Ebon Rose, Assassins for Hire excelling at making it look like an accident. I think that is I think the Clock Tower, not even a base of locations, but a location where the Ebon Rose, where an incident happens, and you know, steep falls, it's an accident. You know, you have somebody, you take somebody up there and you push them off, and you have the assassin escape. A member of the Ebon Rose takes somebody up there and pushes them off, you know, makes it look like they're unaliving themselves. that clock tower would be I'll tell you what, a clock tower would be a really sick map to make in D&D. I want to know if somebody has done that. I have to imagine somebody has. Yes. Okay, cool. Somebody has. Because if nobody had done this, I was going to say this is going to be an upsetting reality, but no. Something like this. This is a great map for this. Oh, what the heck's going on? You know, the entrance heading up, you have different machinery parts, and then you also have places where, oh, somebody falls out of the 4th story window, or somebody makes it up to the bell loft and falls out falls out there. You know, each one of these little windows they throw themselves out of. Like, that's really cool. Or they get caught up in the gears of the clock face. What is that? Is this? Oh, that's part of the mechanism that turns the clock. Okay. This is already sick. Like, I could see that being like a whole thing of the players having to go through the tower. You have different clues on each floor, where maybe on the first floor, maybe the entrance, there's like muddy footprints, or something you can find under that rug. Maybe on the second floor, you find fingerprints on these glowing orbs that maybe power or keep things, you know, in time. Maybe up on the bell loft or in the clock face, you find some blood, or in the gears of the clock face, you find scraps of clothing that have been pulled in and are like spinning around the gears, and that might have like a black rose on it, and that gives you that clue. That's really cool. Oh shit, I don't even know. Wait, what did I roll? I have that window off to the side. Did I get I got a 4. Fearmongers, monsters that instill fear in their victims, clouding their judgment. You know what? I'm sorry. Gallow ghosts? Nope. That's exactly it. Spirits of hung criminals return to sow chaos. That's what's haunting the clock tower. People, this is where the clock tower is obviously the timekeeper, but is also where back in the day people were hung from. They were hung from the windows, and it was a reminder, a staunch reminder, that this is, you know, the time for justice. That is, I love this Gallow ghost. That's so cool. 100% the monster in the clock tower. You know, people that were, you know, killed and hung from the clock tower, and the ropes would wind and they would eventually drop. Oh my god, that's so cool. I love that. Man, you know what? I'm putting another enemy in here. Okay? As much, and I do love Mara. I want this to be a guy that it pops up. I want this guy. Atomy Thwaite. City watchmen easily bribed to look the other way. Often already was anyway. Okay? Guess what? Guess what location Atomy Thwaite is watching, or supposed to be watching? The clock tower. Obviously. He is in cahoots with the Ebon Rose. He's paid under the table by them to let them in and out, to do their, you know, to do their bidding. He has his time on there. This is the guard. You know, this is an enemy that the players can, as they're trying to explore these deaths, you know, because obviously we are basing this off of this character is working alongside Varric Thornfire, okay? So clearly this plot hook down here, people posting bounties or turning up dead robbed of their reward money with the mark of the spiderweb. And honestly, we could some of that actually with a with the symbol of a shit, how did I not see it when I was thinking of it? Because now I'm thinking of it. Hold on, let me pull something up. It's not perfect, well, like what's going on in my mind, but let me see if I can find somebody who's already done the legwork for me. Oh no, yeah, somebody basically did. Wait, rose top. Can I? Okay, all right. Tell me how far off base I am, okay, with this. Obviously, we have the web of spider from Varric's background, okay? This is the design of the temple, okay? This is the design of a temple. But let's be real here. What else does this look like? Okay, give me 1 second. I got a copy transformation. Gotta pull up another window. Got a paste transformation. And then I gotta move it. Bada bing, bada boom. Bam. A rose viewed from the top very much kind of has a spider web, a chaotic spider web look to it. This is actually what I just saw online, which is a very nice woven rose slash spider web rose. This is their calling card. Their, you know, the web of spiders, which is a, you know, it's a cult devoted to Lolth, is working alongside the Ebon Rose, or it has hired the Ebon Rose, and they have this calling card, and it is this mark, maybe like a brand, maybe something, somehow this kind of a symbol is there when they, you know, when they kill their targets. But it's going to have to be something where, you know, not everybody is going to, you know, is going to catch this. You know, you're what did I just move? You know, not everybody is going to see this. But somebody with, like, a detective, somebody with an eye for this. And honestly, you could have it be, instead of like the full spider web, maybe you just have it be parts of it. Okay. That would be, oh wait, not that one. I needed, where's my history? There we go. Is it this one? Yes. You know, maybe instead of the full spider web or the full rose, maybe there's a rose petal. Okay. Maybe that's what it is. There's a black rose petal that's left at the scene. That to me is, you know, that to me right there is a great calling card, a black rose petal. And having that be something that can lead back to them, or, you know, and it could really be anything. Like this is the DM part of me that's like trying to come up with this. Here, I thought you were just building characters, got a whole campaign. That's the whole thing about this. that's why when I first looked at these, when I swear I said the same thing when I first looked at the whole Compendium of Explosive Creation. This page, where it's drives, catalyst, transformation, friendly factions, assets, allies, and magic items. This is so much heavily based on what the player is going to focus on, because this is deciding, this is what their character is. This is a sense of who their character is. Like, what is the thing that set them on their path? What do they want to accomplish over the time that they're adventuring? Who do they have to lean on, and what are they having to work with? But this is where the DM can shine, because the organization that goes against them, that's something the DM has to really flesh out. That's something the DM has to work with. The rival and enemy, again, that's an NPC that the DM really needs to work with. And these evocative locations and thematic monsters, these are where I'm going to have a really cool encounter at a clock tower where somebody was killed looking like an accident, but no, this wasn't an accident. Too many of those going on nowadays. And you go there, and who's sitting there on watch tonight? Adam E. Thwaite. He just so happened to be the guard at the gate the day that the merchant who was bringing in a supply of wares to the local temple was killed and robbed, because Adam E. fell asleep, or was, out draining the lizard. This is where the DM comes out of me. This is why I love this, because this isn't just about making characters. This is very much a, full-on campaign already. After a group has all 4 to 6, after a group has all characters worked out, DM might not really need to think of, that's exactly it. But, and here's the thing, I want to express more than anything with this, in my opinion, all of this can happen at a session 0. We've been going for a little less than 2.5 hours. Okay. If you get together with your players before you make any notes or any campaign generalities, and you sit down with them with this book and you say, hey, you guys might have some ideas on your characters. Okay. It's cool that you have a name, you have a class, you have a race, you have a background. I want you guys to be fluid about your backgrounds. And I really want to use this book to flesh them out. And then you sit there, print this up, Oh, cool. You have somebody who is a charlatan, give them the charlatan pages. You have somebody who's an acolyte, they're playing a cleric, give them the acolyte pages. Okay? I'm sure we only got to D. We're only on the 4th letter of the alphabet, and we have all these options so far. Somebody's playing a ranger. Oh, sweet. Okay, here's the animal whisperer one. And guess what? Now your players can sit there with these, roll some dice, have some fun. You as the DM can walk around the table and look at things, look at what they're rolling, look at what they're writing down. And you have them roll on their stuff, and then you copy it down. You copy down the antagonistic organizations. And sure, maybe somebody rolls on there and you have 2 or 3 of them that work really well with one another. Maybe you have a party of 4 players, okay? And you have 2 or 3 antagonistic organizations and rivals and enemies that really mesh well together from a variety of players. So sure, maybe you drop 1 or 2 of them. Maybe you really build up the other ones, and with that, you say, okay, we're going to go with these. So granted, we're not, maybe one of your players is this criminal? Cultist. Let's go to criminal. Here it is. So maybe one of your players is a criminal. Maybe they're like a rogue criminal, and their background, maybe their antagonistic organization is the Golden Giants, elite gentlemen's club of aristocrats who break the law and bribe. Actually, that's really good. All right, maybe someone. Okay, here we go. Steel shepherds, caravan guards who wear thieves' hands they've cut off as trophies. Okay, maybe we have somebody who's playing a rogue criminal, and this is the one they get for an antagonistic organization, and try as you might not have, you know, the best way to tie that one in. Okay, and I mean, it's simple, and you can fly off the chain with it and come up with all kinds of ideas. But maybe with the other three you get from your other three players, maybe are better fits for the whole party. And you just say, okay, hey, let's work your character into one of these other ones. Maybe the criminal actually has their antagonistic organization being the Ebon Rose. Maybe that was a faction they worked for, but they didn't, you know, they just couldn't cut it. Okay. And or maybe you have a criminal that worked for the Ebon Rose, but guess what? They didn't excel at making it look like an accident. They got caught. So the Ebon Rose sent assassins after them. And now they're on the run from them. So that's their enemy too. So something like that, you could really just sit your players down with a session 0, give yourself 3, 4, 5 hours to like really build up these characters and develop them. What's up, Ms. Roy? You know, because something like this is so easy to put together. You know, we in the course of like an hour, and in the span of a 2-hour stream, where I already talked about one character and gave a full description on their whole background, and went on a tangent about campaigns that I've ran in the past, we have still come up with a whole ass detective character who wants to outsmart and thwart all crime of all forms, was greatly deceived once but never again. He's a gruff loner, okay? He was betrayed by somebody very close to him, and now he really doesn't trust very many people. So he's very particular about the information he gets, but he has to learn to be a team player, because it's only when working with your allies can you actually succeed. He's friends with a group of beggars that sits on the streets and listens to everything that's going on. They are the unsuspecting eyes of the world. They're the ones that people will talk, you know, without regard around. And he's the ones that they trust. We got some Baker Street regulars going on. Yeah. You know, and his ally, Melanie Manyface, you know, she's a charlatan of sorts. You know, she's maybe a shape changer. Okay. Oh, I didn't even see V was in here. What's up, man? Oh my God, Carnival Row. That's a show I haven't heard of in a while. That was the Amazon one, if I'm not mistaken. I imagine Melanie Manyface is either a changeling or is somebody that has a hat of disguise. Okay, or like a ring of disguise, something like that. But this is somebody that, you know, she's a woman of many faces, okay? And he actually trusts her only because she never tries to perceive herself as being anything that she isn't. In my mind now, she is 100% a changeling, okay? He's known her for a while, and in his mind, she's never tried to deceive him, even though she has deceived him. And she maybe shows up during his investigations as some vagrant or some beggar or a child or some old woman selling, you know, flowers, and or an old man walking by with a with a newspaper and bumps into him and like starts shaking his fist, and then she turns around and suddenly is back to her true form, and you know, relays some of that information that she might have, that, you know, that's just what she does because she finds it funny. You know, she finds it funny that she can just be anywhere and be anyone and do anything. You know, we have that he has these lenses of deciphering, like straight up just giving you the warlock invocation. I don't even know what it's called. It's called, I think it's the eyes of Eyes of the Runekeeper. That's it. You can read all writing. So basically, this guy just has a ring of the Runekeeper, you know, basically. What if a cleric had a hat of disguise, lawful character, trickster cleric? 100% a trickster cleric, you mean? Because that is where my mind goes with that. A lawful, or I went Twilight, a lawful, a knowledge cleric. Ooh. Yeah, 100%. That would be really cool. Yeah, I would dig that. I would dig a knowledge cleric with a hat of disguise, sage background. Yeah, he's just going into places, you know, doing what he can to gain as much information as possible. I would say very easily Ogma or Bokob, for a god there. Oh, I love that. A hat, knowledge must be free and I will liberate it. Hell yeah, that's baller. That's a cool character right there. Githzerai. Ooh, a Githzerai knowledge cleric sage liberating the knowledge. That's cool, man. That's a hell of a character. Play that in Baldur's Gate right now. You could 100% do that in Baldur's Gate right now. That would be cool. Githzerai is one of those ones, like Githyanki is talked about so much right now. Zerthimin. Oh, okay. I've only ever heard little bits and pieces of Zerthimin, and I think it comes from I think that one I've only heard of like bits and pieces of through some Baldur's Gate. Okay. Oh man. Oh wait, I do know Zerthimin. Wait, was it UV that was talking about? Was it you that was talking about like the whole 7? Oh, it was like the 7 circles or something. I'm so ignorant of it. Somebody in chat one time was talking about a Githzerai 8 circles from lore. Yes. Okay. I was hoping to remember that. Okay. That's sick. Yeah, that would be really cool. A knowledge cleric going in, liberating knowledge, collecting books. That'd be baller. All right, so we got one more part to choose from. We have our plot hook. Okay, we have 17. The Guardian can't be overcome physically, but will yield if defeated in a battle of wits. Huh. The Guardian can't be overcome physically, but will yield if defeated in a battle of wits. I wonder what that means. That's interesting. The Guardian can't be overcome physically, but will yield if defeated in a battle of wits. What does that mean? What does that mean? let me look through some of the other plot hooks. I really like I like that phrase just in general, but we might add to this. So we got a crime wave on the road hinders trade, but the bandit hideout proves difficult to find. A stream of victims where cryptic notes are left behind by the killer. Urchins are disappearing from the streets, but few seem to care. A seance at an elegant dinner party inadvertently unleashes a great evil. Goblins are blamed for recent troubles around town, but the truth is not so simple. A heist must be performed to prove an artifact is a replica. Ancient statues scattered around the city are actually clues pointing to the location of a treasure. Nobles paying a bounty to attempt to break into their manor. Framed for a crime they didn't commit, they have to find the perpetrator to clear their name. Oh, maybe. Oh. Oh no, that's it. That's it. That's it. I want to read more, but I'm gonna get up with my idea here in a minute. Person paying a huge bounty to steal an item secretly is the owner because it's cursed. A cult threatening the region's safety, but membership is secretive. Anyone could be. Hey, guess what? This is actually a thing that we've already discussed. Literally is a thing we've already discussed. It's that's the web of spiders. That's the cult that worships Lulth. Is threatening the region's safety, but membership is secretive and anyone can be a part of it. That's literally the whole thing. Is they are like just regular townsfolk, like bar owners and stuff. The line between the city watch and criminal gangs has become very blurry. I don't know. I feel like Adam. I'm really liking a lot of these, and I know we're gonna have to really like, hook them down. Covering hidden truths from the past may be the key to preserving any hope for the future. Discovering the truth of the prince's lineage. Someone or something is wreaking havoc by imprisoning authority figures. It appears the bride-to-be was kidnapped, but maybe she was escaping an arranged marriage. You know what? I don't know, Ryan, if you've ever watched, if you're still here in the chat, I don't know if you ever watched Matt Coville's videos, but he talked about one time, or no, it wasn't Matt Coville. It was Brennan Lee Mulligan, I believe. Brennan Lee Mulligan told a story one time about how, yeah, it was Brennan, how he was running a game where he had like everyone was playing dwarves, and it was starting out as the players were there to watch a wedding, and he described it where the bride didn't really seem up on everything, so these four dwarves were basically like, they were like, no, we're not gonna let you go through with this, you're obviously unhappy. So they kidnapped her and made a break for it, and it became like the whole, like a big part of the campaign was getting this bride out of there, and like the players really setting the tone for what that adventure was. That was Brandon Lee Mulligan, the DM of DMs. All right, the Guardian can't be over. Okay, that's the one we've already played with. Someone is opening portals to other planes, releasing dangers. Nah. The crime lord has been arrested, unleashing destructive power struggle. Nope. Rumors of a humanoid beast. Nope. Okay, so here's the thing. I really like this phrase, and I kind of want this to play into a monster. That's at the moment where you have to decide whether you're going to clarify it or run with it. That's exactly it. Okay, so Sphinx. There we go. This is going to show up some point in his adventure. I'm not necessarily saying that it's like he's going to be like a main thing, but Yeah, I really like that. The Sphinx could be something where along the journey of uncovering this, because sphinxes show up in a lot of places, but generally they hold riddles and they protect places of import. If you've ever played White Plume Mountain, which is an adventure in the Tales of the Yawning Portal, there's an andro sphinx right in the very beginning of that. In fact, a sphinx was one of the most memorable encounters I ever played in, where my friend, we were trying to figure out who was going to answer the Sphinx's riddle, and my friend like overzealously walked up and is like, I will answer it, and he failed it miserably, but he got the chance to correct himself and roll a d20 to do an intelligence check, and he had to get a nat 20. So he rolled and he got like a 13 or something, and then he rolled with advantage because he had inspiration, and he got a nat 20 on that, and it was this gold d20 that was the inspiration die, and the whole table erupted, and he couldn't have been more proud of himself. Oh god, that was my friend who recently passed away. That is a cherished memory I have of that man. Oh man, so I 100% think this Sphinx is going to be there. I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, he was my best friend, from elementary school, from third grade when he put gum in my hair all the way through. His name was Kevin Cavarda, and he's my best friend of all time, and I'll tell you what, I miss him dearly, and I'm so happy to have such awesome memories of him. That's one of those things where I have such awesome memories of him, and that's the beautiful thing about it, is I can always go back and think about those moments. So all right, so I kind of want to tie the Sphinx to something else. Obviously the Gallow Ghosts are tied to the clock tower. That was something we already discussed. The Maze of Narrow Alley, no. Serene Shore, desolate but beautiful stretch of coast. Dark Market, black market vendors that set up in a different secret. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Oh, that's sick. Barren highlands of acidic peat and bog patches to sink into. That's cool. Interesting. I really just like this whole Sphinx idea of a powerful guardian, that's doing the riddles. So where can that play in? 100%. I got it. So this monster is less of a enemy and more of something that has to be dealt with more regularly, because I really like this idea of a dark market of vendors that set up in different locations each night, but I like that for the Veil Watchers. Okay, I really like this idea of a network of tunnels underground, like in the sewers, where as you look for them, they are not going to be in the same place, the next time you see them, but the giveaway is that their location is guarded by a Sphinx that can only be passed, not physically, but in a battle of wits, where you have to handle them with riddles. And I really like this idea of kind of this aspect of it, as maybe there's the leader to the Veil Watchers. Maybe the Sphinx is honestly the Sphinx is the, get out of here, Grammarly, is the leader of the Veil Watchers, kind of like it is their powerful figure. So I really like this just more as like an add-on. So yeah, that's a really cool that's just like a really cool thing just to have. So I'm gonna keep that note there because I think that's cool. All right, but we need to figure out what's the main thing that's gonna be propelling our detective forward. He's already kind of dealt with some stuff, but this framed for a crime that they have to clear their name, I really like that. I honestly just want to take this. I'm gonna put this over on Varric. Okay. Yep, I want that right there because that to me is a perfect thing that goes on there. So 100% that. These are the 2 plot points I want for this character. He was framed for a crime he did not commit, and will have to find the perpetrator to clear their name. And the line between the City Watch and the criminal gangs has become very blurry. And Adame Thwaite is part of that blur. Okay? You know, you don't know who's on whose payroll. And so, because I think even this is like, you can even rephrase this as something along the lines of, you know, the City Watch has become very, you know, like the City Watch has become very relaxed in how they watch, something like that. You know, but I like this idea of how the City Watch is being questioned now of, are they looking the other way when, you know, when something's going on, and it's calling into question, you know, the stuff where it's like, it was an accident. Okay, well, maybe you're under the thumb of the Ebon Rose. So yeah, I really like this character that we've built. Give me a minute. I'm gonna write down some notes. I'm gonna close out that little window over there. I'm gonna write down these notes because I gotta copy all this. Put it in. Okay. So I'm gonna have to come up with I need a character name. That's what I need now. D&D, wait, fantasy name generator. What is this character? There we are. Fantasy name generator. What is his race? I don't even know that. I don't even know. What would this character... In my mind, he's been a human this whole time. He's been a human, like, from the beginning in my mind. But I don't know. Is that the route I want to go? We have so many different races to pick from and play with. What happened to the tiefling? That's Varric. Varric is a tiefling gunslinger. So I'm not saying that this guy couldn't be a tiefling, but probably gonna try and make him something else. Okay, detective. What to me really stands out? Detective. You know what? We can do this. While it doesn't necessarily matter, let's do any. Gnome. I was very much thinking gnome because oh, a mark of scribing. Oh, that's it. Yeah, the intellect, the intelligence boost is definitely one of the things I was looking at. Mark of scribing. That's it. So he's a gnome. All right. Let's come up with some names. Gonna go to fantasy name generator. Let's pull this over. let's get another window open here on the side. This one, no names. Leaf. I can't name a character Leaf. I can't do it. Signal the Curious. The reason why I can't name a character Leaf is because there is a book series that I read as a child called Del Toro Quest, and the main character in that is a young boy named Leaf, spelled exactly how you spelled it, like Leif Erikson, and I could never make a character named that same thing because it would just remind me of it. So I would feel like I'm stealing that. Signal the Curious. I actually really like that name. Let's do yeah, no names generator. Is this the same one? All right, so we got a couple here. Manbis, Tangrung or Tanrug, Albus. Yeah, that reminds me too much of Albus Dumbledore. By the way, I use Fantasy Name Generator for like 90% of my characters. Willen Glittersong, Alphin, Felbus, Salvin, Orcus. I don't know if anybody wants to be named Orcus. That's just too close to the god. Tracorin, Corcoran, Erebar. Nesgrim sounds pretty cool. I like Nesgrim. That's a pretty good one. Also, for those of you that ever do use fantasynamegenerator.com for your naming situations, keep in mind, if you have down here saving mode and you're on the same device, you can actually just click a name and it'll highlight and it'll actually save it in the corner under each different things. As you can see, Sinfil is a vampiric name. Oh crap, I didn't mean to get rid of that. That was a name. Yeah, if you click these names down here, they will go away. Sinfil was a name that I played in a Vampire the Masquerade, and Cudgag is the name of the goblin that I introduced in my P5 campaign when I needed a little goblin guy. And also Kimaloxagas, that is the name of the bronze dragon that was in my P5 campaign who recently died yesterday. Her name was Runara otherwise, but her dragon name was Kimaloxagas. So yeah, I use this for kind of everything. See, Davrin, that's not a bad name. I don't hate that. Merrick, ooh. Varric and Merrick, that would be cool. Vorbis, that's sick. Panapip, Uragrim, Auric, that's another one. I don't know if I could. Merrick, Murkass, huh. Rexif. I kind of feel like I'm kind of liking Rexif. Yeah, I'm kind of liking Rexif. Okay. So we're gonna go Rexif. I need to copy that. I don't know if I can copy across differently. No, I can't. We just need to make that not bold. All right, so we're going Rexif, and now we need a last name. I always like the ones where it's like Shadowfoot and Wild, yeah, like there, Wild Bit, Bold Twist. Okay, wait, so hold on. He's a scribe gnome. Booksmart. We can always put that into... We could always put that into his name. Bronze Belch. Short Spark. Oh, I like Togglestone for something. Billowhide, Pebbleguard, Copperbrand, Flickerflight, Thundercheek, Goldflow, Coppertop, Fizzle Collar, Stout Twist, Fiddle River, Whistle Boots. That's a good one. I like Whistle Boots. That's just funny. All right, no, I'm doing it. I like Whistle Boots too much, not to say. Okay, because here's the thing. I like Rexif Whistle Boots only because as a detective, he's obviously going to have a high dexterity because he's going to be sneaking around and like having to find clues. And the fact that his name is Whistle Boots, that to me is just absolutely hilarious. So he is going to be a scribe gnome, and then it was like the writing was already on the walls for this character, because when I was coming up with Varric, I wanted him to be a gunslinger because I wanted that like old classic old west style bounty hunter design. But we have not rogue, or not ranger, rogue. We have a perfect rogue subclass for this, which is the inquisitive. Eye for deceit, eye for detail, insightful fighting, steady eye, unerring eye. Like, if I thought of this already, but there is a heavy part of me now that, based on, like, I started him out being an inquisitive rogue, because that to me is like the detective subclass. You know, you have bonuses to figuring out when creatures are lying. You can investigate more. He would obviously have the keen mind feat, you know, as if like a first level feat is applicable, but like deciphering, you know, how your character's fighting, very Sherlock Holmesy. But Scribe's Wizard would also be really cool because he is a scribe gnome. That's an option, but also there is the route that was mentioned by V of a knowledge cleric is also something really powerful. About there's something about having a detective like worshiping a god of knowledge. I don't know. I'm probably gonna stick with rogue. In my mind, the inquisitive rogue is still, to me, you know, like it says here, rooting out secrets and unraveling mysteries. That's the whole thing. Okay. And being that he's a rogue, it is so much more based on his dexterity, and he would have that like underground kind of style, you know, knowledge. So yeah, I'm gonna go, if I can spell it, oh my god, this is why copy and paste exists, and then we just get the formatter. There we go. Rogu. Okay, there we go. Rexif Whistleboots, a scribe gnome inquisitive rogue, gets minor illusion. That he do. Or wait, no, he doesn't. Because it's the rock gnome. No, it's not. It's the force gnome. Force gnome gets natural illusionist. I was like, wait, which one is which one is the rogue in my library campaign? She's a force gnome. Funny enough, you know what? I just thought of this, and I brought this up in my session yesterday, my Phandalin 5 campaign. So my players in my library game are playing through Dragon of Ice Spire Peak, but it's already very much changed into a very homebrew based system, because they're fighting against the Cult of Mask. They want to bring forth a shadow dragon, and that's like their whole thing. And players have already uncovered these, their goals, their desires, but they recently went back to where a group of gnomes resides, a place called Gnomengard. They've already been there, they've already helped them out, they have a bit of a rapport. When they arrived, they found out something was going on there, and that the king's husband was trapped in there or something. He was in there, and whatever was causing all the mayhem, he was in there with. So the players decide to go in and help, and they find out very quickly they're fighting basilisks, which, if you don't know, basilisks are creatures that can, that's not how you spell it. Basilisks are creatures that when you look at them and they look at you, you will be petrified. So you make your first Constitution saving throw, and then that restrains you, and then you make your second one, and that one petrifies you, because actually I had it set at a challenge rating 4. So they or no, it was a CR5. I was like, wait, that's not right, because they're 5th level. So she rolled a 13 on her first save and started to turn to stone. On her second one, to see if she would or would not be petrified, she rolled a 9, had inspiration, and rolled a 13 again. And there's a part of me as a DM that's like, there's that part of me as a DM where I'm like, yeah, I got my player, like I put this threat, this trap in there, and I got them. But then there's also just like the human in me that looks into my player's face and goes, I put a monster that could literally take a player out of the game, and I have succeeded, and now I feel bad. I did eventually give them another character as an NPC that's been traveling with the party. He's a rock gnome recluse named Bilzer, and he has his own, like, he can cast like magic missile, ray of frost, he has a pickaxe. But I didn't yet make the joke, but I was so close to saying, hey Nim, I want you to go to your character sheet and change your rates from forest gnome to rock gnome. When she was petrified, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I felt so bad because those folks have had some chats where they it was this whole thing of like, they saved her body, like they still have her body and everything, and they're trying to resolve that, but the one was like, what's Nim's favorite kind of music? Rock music. And it's this whole thing now. But yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was, force number rock gnome, but that was really funny in that session. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Basilisk, they pose a threat, but I completely forgot that the paladin in that group has blind fighting. That SOB took blind fighting as his fighting style, and then I didn't know that, and then I'm sitting here like, ha 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 ha, I'm gonna put a basilisk against you, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes and run at him and have blind sight, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. I love my players, some of them more than others. Okay, so yeah, I think now I need to sit here and come up with the story background. But I don't think I'm going to do that on camera. Oh, wow, that was weird. My FPS dropped. I don't think I'm going to do that on camera. And the only reason for that is because we've been going for almost 3 hours. And it's about 12:30 right now. I have what is now a cold bowl of Chinese food in front of me. It's leftovers, mind you. It was gonna be cold one way or the other. But I think I'm gonna pull away from this, come up with the story, and actually like fill out in my own mind what this whole backstory is, kind of like I did with Varric there in the beginning. So yeah, so with that, I want to remind everyone, if you have been following, let me get something prepped up and ready here. I need this, I need that, I need all of my things right where I need them. So good night. Yeah, see, I'll be posting these over in the D&D&Chill over in the tavern, over in the Kelf's Corner Discord. So when you want to see those backstories, like in more of a narrative form, kind of like we did with Farron right here, where I took some time and actually typed it out. Excuse me. Or with Malgo, I will be doing the same thing with Varric, as I have over on another page already. I'm going to be doing the same thing with Rexif Whistleboots, trying to take everything that we talked about here and distill it down into a story. But I just want to talk about one more time what this is all from, okay? Because none of these stories, none of these characters would have been possible without Ryan's Game Master's Compendium of Explosive Creation. From the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you, because this is hands down the best way to create awesome, thoughtful, evocative characters, and I cannot wait to see the rest of it in time. 100%. Like, if you are new to D&D, if you are new to making characters and you want that extra little bit of help to get yourself set in the right direction, this is what you need. If you are a player who has been playing for years and you're going to be playing in a campaign and you want to come up with a cool character, something that's different from anything else that you've played, roll some dice. Get your character made and have some fun with it just by rolling some dice. And if you're a DM, you need to get this in front of your players at a session 0. Don't have expectations about what your campaign is going to be, and get this. Let this be what it is. V, how do you get it? I'm so glad you asked. First off, yes, right there. Stacy beat me to it. But you can go to Kickstarter. Over there, Brian has set up, it's an upcoming project. He announced it here tonight that it will be going live on Thursday. That is September 21st. That it'll be going live. If you want to get a copy of this Game Master's Compendium of Explosive Creation, head over to his Patreon. Now, I will say again, because I said it earlier, he is currently taking a bit of a break to pause the billing period for it while launching the Kickstarter. But if you want a copy of this backup, I am sure there are ways to get it. And definitely let people know about this. Let your DM know. Let your players know. Let somebody who is maybe just interested in wanting to try D&D, but they don't know where to start, and just sit down with them and say, hey, let's just make you a character, okay? What speaks to you? Oh, I like books. you know, oh, I like books. Cool. Discover things worth adding to my archive. Yeah, I want to be somebody who has their own archive. A trove of new scrolls hints at more to find. I want to find those new scrolls. Okay. Get people to look at this, because in my opinion, this is going to birth so many awesome characters, so many awesome campaigns, and the more the merrier. So thanks again for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it, everybody, so much from the bottom of my heart. Ryan, this is great. I can't wait to see what this comes out to be. And yeah, you know, tell everybody about it, folks. Get this out there. Thursday comes around. I want to see this thing funded in 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I want to see this thing funded. I want to see Ryan over there, sweating, because he's gonna be so inundated. I want to see this reach that level of monkey DM status, because this is what this honestly deserves, with the amount of creativity that's in here and with what this can be. This is gonna be phenomenal. So thanks again, everybody, for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. Oh yeah, of course, man, of course. I love this thing. Trust me, it is lighting itself up. You got an amazing product here, man. And I can't wait to see more of it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me tonight. I want to thank everybody who hung out, spent this time. We went for a good 3 hours, had a lot of good conversations, built 2 phenomenal characters that are going to be working side by side to uncover the secrets of the Ebon Rose and the web of the spiders. What is really going on? What is the truth? How far does this go? And are these characters ready to handle this? Who knows? Maybe that's a campaign for another day. Maybe somebody sees this video and they take these characters and they run with them. And if that's the case, do it. Take these characters and run with them. If Varric Thornfire speaks to you, somebody that wants to prove their worth, that they're a lawful character, that they have what it takes to be, a bounty hunter, or if Rexif Whistleboots speaks to you, that you want to outsmart enemies and thwart crime, and you don't want to be deceived, and you want to, have that entire buildup, take them. Run with them. I build characters for the world because I'm a forever DM. And for me and my 150... Oh, wait, I'm not even... It's not even on screen there. My 150 plus characters that I have sitting around, take them. Have their stories be something that you own too. So... from me to you, enjoy it. I look forward to this. This is not the last time we have seen this, because once this is in my hands, we're gonna be making all kinds of characters. So thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate it. If you are interested in keeping up with the community, you can head to that link right above me, or you can click the About button below the stream, hit the Discord button there. That'll get you over to Kel's Corner, where everybody is located, chatting away, talking about video games, talking about D&D. Ryan's over there if you want to congratulate him. Also, I don't know if I can do this the right way, but let me see. This, we'll change that to that. We'll do this, and we will make a copy. If you want to go over and support Ryan, this is a link to his Discord. You can go over there, say hi, say thanks, give him your congratulations when his Patreon or when his Kickstarter explodes. Here is that link again, once again, for his Patreon as well as the Kickstarter, because gotta get folks out there. We gotta get people seeing this and supporting our boys. So But for that, I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna go eat some Chinese food. So thanks again for hanging out with me, everybody, and I will see you on Thursday for the next episode of the First 15. I'm not gone yet for the next episode of the First 15, but also for the release of the start of the Kickstarter. So thanks again. I'll see you guys then. Have a good night. Bye.